Hi everyone, this is Professor Todd with another video on the research proposal. This video will cover section 4, the research plan. In the previous section, you set forth the research question that will be driving the project for the remainder of the semester. This is the question that you hope to answer by the end of the semester in your persuasive essay. So this section will set forth the plan for how you will go about answering that question through research. That is, what are the sources that you need to gather to help you answer that question, and how will you go about gathering those sources? This plan will really set you on the right path for the annotated bibliography, which is the next formal assignment in this project. So in this section, you will establish how you will begin your research. That is, are some of the first steps that you're going to take to sort of get you going, gathering the information that you will need to answer that question. Then you will also explain what specific sources and or types of sources you need to find in this research process. You detail how you will go about finding those sources, that is where you will look for these sources, and also you will provide some lists for both the source needs that you have, that is the kinds of sources that you will need to gather, and also the key issues and search terms that you'll be using when conducting your research. These lists will be particularly helpful once we start working with the library's databases in week 6. That way you will already have some of the search terms to type in, and you will know exactly the types of sources that you're looking for. So putting forth this plan really sets you up for success, and it makes the research process go much more smoothly once you begin working in those databases. So let's look at an example of this section. First, we have the narrative. I plan to begin my research by watching the documentary It's Real: College Students and Mental Health to gain a broad understanding of the crisis facing American college students. So this is the students letting me know this is their sort of first step, how they're going to begin gaining a better understanding of the topic. Then I hope to poll and interview UTC students to gather more information about their specific challenges and needs. Finally, I plan to use the library's databases to gather scholarly sources on both mental illness trends in college students, as well as studies which have identified causes and potential solutions. So this is a really nice narrative because it explains how the student plans to begin by gaining a broad understanding of the crisis watching a documentary, then how the student hopes to gather specific information about their local community, the UTC community, to understand the problem that's specifically facing those students, and then how the student plans to use the library's databases and the types of sources that they're going to gather there. Next, let's look at the lists compiled in this section. The source needs statistical data to establish the specific number of college students suffering from mental illness, research on specific causes of mental illness in college students, opinion-based articles that link mental illness factors related to college life, expert analysis and scholarly opinions on the causes of unhappiness in college students, polls from the UTC students, and interviews with UTC students. So this is a nice kind of overview of the various types of sources this student plans to gather. And then in the next section, we'll see some of the key issues or search terms they're going to use when they start digging into those databases, such as depression, anxiety, and higher education, mental health and academic pressure, happiness in college students, wellness and mental health, and the list goes on. Again, having these lists prepared and this plan prepared means that you will have a great jumping off point for when we get into the actual research that you'll begin in week 6. It makes that process go easier, and it helps you gather the types of sources that you will need in a much more sort of efficient manner. Okay, so in the final video, we're going to cover the bibliography, which is how you compile the sources that you've used in this research proposal. So take a look at that next.